Good afternoon. Today is September the 6th. I know I did the video yesterday and I feel like I'm going to do another one because so many of you make in the comment section that it might be Kushner and Ivanka. And I just want to know, I'm talking about my last video that we were guessing who is the anonymous person who sent the information to New York Times. And I just want to know if Kushner has the balls, the balls that we are throwing to the dogs, whatever, to be brave enough to stand up against Trump. And another thing, I was watching The View and they were talking about Kushner and Ivanka being on the funeral, and I have seen them and I thought, that's kind of odd for them to go. They must have approval from Trump, otherwise they will never be brave enough. It was extremely uncomfortable for them. Everyone was looking at them and I was wondering, how did they feel? The pressure of the people that they know is growing on them. They must feel very isolated. And they are young. How would anyone feel when they will be in that situation? They know that they have a lot of years ahead of them. And how they are going to live that life towards the future with that heavy baggage. And everyone was saying such beautiful things about McCain and against Trump, and they are extension of Trump. So would they like to get behind and protect themselves and write that letter to New York Times? I don't have anyone to ask me a question, so I have to use just the cards. And I would like to know, how do they do this? It's for me a message. Look differently. So I will, usually when I'm doing reading for people, I ask them to cut the cards. So this one, it's for me. And how do they feel? Are they feel getting ready to withdraw themselves and write some letter like that for the future protection? Yes, they have a different, it must be eating their souls. That it's very hard for them to digest that angel of love, but it's angel of emotions, angel of feeling how they can exist in the future. So someone with that kind of feeling had is that Ivanka and Kushner, they are postponing that. They are not able to make the decision. They are waiting and waiting, and they are in hibernation kind of. They don't know what to do. They feel that there is a lot of danger, but maybe we will get away with it. If we don't say anything this way or that way, people will eventually forgive us. Ivanka still loves her father, Queen of Love. So she is, sorry, I was not giving you the better chance to look at the cards. So it's that the one that they are postponing the decision. Angel of Love, the first card, and she don't know how to deal with her father. I don't think she's happy. She must be really stressed out. And when people are under stress that much, eventually that some part of the body will give up and she may feel sick. Hopefully that was close enough. yeah, she is waiting for something to happen. She wants to get away from it. No one is supporting her. She don't have any support from anyone. Everyone is expecting her to act, and she's not acting. She is just waiting for the shaky tower. She's afraid of her father, and then she's making Kushner probably the same way. They are afraid. I don't think they were the ones who were pushing anything behind the scenes. And Melania wrote today a letter. To be honest with you, I don't think she was able to write the letter. Someone else who feels that Trump can accuse that person for being against him wrote the letter for both of them. So Melania and that person will be covered, because I think Trump is going with the gun. Who did it? Who did it? Who did it? And scaring people to death. Well, there must be today the day of hell over there. He is sniffing. If he could put them in the chains and do the saying the truth test, he will do it. He would like to check them if who is lying against him. And probably everyone thinks about Trump the same way as Bob Woodward said, and Fire and Fury. Oh boy, I knew his name. Okay. And what Amarosa is saying in her book, everyone thinks the same way. Mike. Okay. It will come back one moment later. But so Melania, why Melania? But I answer. It's obvious that they are paranoid. So everyone is saying, oh, it's not me, don't look at me. Pence must be peeing in his pants, and everyone else is trying not to even look at his face. Okay, the person that comes to my mind, and a lot of you were saying the same thing, is Don McGahn. He's the lawyer for White House. He was not lawyer for Trump. He was lawyer for White House. He is leaving White House because Trump fired him because he was talking to Mueller for 30 hours. So Trump is afraid. What did he say to Mueller? And I said in the previous video that he gave red necklaces, which will be a symbol. I'm yours, take me. I will be faithful to you. I'm on your side. You are my hero, whatever. Because that's the symbol in Poland, in the mountains, for the mountain people. So I think, and I watch him. Okay. The last 3 days is Kavanaugh grilling in the Supreme Court nominations. So the Congress is grilling him like, especially Democrats. And McCain is sitting behind Kavanaugh on the left side. For the first 2 days, his face was visible. Today I couldn't see him, so I was upset. It was more interesting to watch his face, Don's face, than the Kavanaugh, because Kavanaugh is like, wow, you can't go through that. He is controlling himself so perfectly, but he is flowing like a golden fish, this way, that way, this way, that way. You can't catch me, you can't put anything on me, and they are putting things on him, and he's not. It's like the oily thing, you can't really grab him. So it's scary. But many months ago, over a year ago, I was observing a person behind Jeff Sessions. It was his wife. And it was the first hearing and second hearing, because he had few of them, to be the top, person in the White House, kind of related to the power. And she was as well emotional. She was scared. It was like a soccer mom watching this, watching that, and feeling so tense, so her little boy wouldn't be hurt. And it was already obvious that she knew that he has dirty hands. So she was very tense. And now Don McGahn is watching Kavanaugh. But I had the feeling that he's not on his side. He is disgusted with him. If his tensions, his doing this and being so unhappy, so reserved, it's unbelievable. I will ask you to see that for a moment. How, if he could kill someone with his eyes, he would do it. Don is really straightforward guy. He is not nuisance. He doesn't like nonsense or whatever. He is probably oldest child growing up with parents that he had to take care of. He was always old soul. He never was a young boy being naughty, being funny. He was always, that's the way. There is no gray, black, white, no gray. And that's the reason he couldn't. And I think he was the one who wanted to watch Trump. He was not happy there. He couldn't be happy. But he was probably watching Trump. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was the one who wrote the New York Times, for the New York Times magazine, the information. He is leaving. And he wants to go ahead in the future. So that would be very reasonable to accept that he was the one. And I will pull a few cards for him. And thank you so much for your wonderful comments. So it's Don McGahn, the one who wrote the letter to New York Times. I'm getting some information, but not enough. It's like going with the light and checking. So he was probably very well informed. He knew what was going on. And he didn't like anything wrong to happen. So he was telling people what. And I didn't know I can ask myself, but it looks like I can still ask myself. Yeah, he was so depressed about the situation, what's going on over there, how they are dealing with Trump. He's worried about the country. He is really worried. He might have some friend, there is a dog, so he might have some other people who will take the charges. But he's crying that he can't do any better for the country. He wants to negotiate everything. So he was probably angel of negotiation, angel of temperance. He was the little angel over here whispering to Trump, you can't do that, you can't do that. Listen to me, you are not going to do things like that. He wanted to impregnate Trump with the good way of doing things. This guy is rebellion. He will never listen. But McGahn was trying his best. Crying, going different direction, feeling abandoned, feeling disappointed with everything. His emotions are stressed out. It's 5 of Cups. It's very hard for him. He is not feeling happy what's going on. He is crying, and maybe that's the reason he was forced to write. If not, he is probably one of the people. She was yesterday, Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is usually, to me, woman who has a lot abilities to speak up her mind, who can be pokey. It's a very good symbol for a lawyer, woman lawyer, or even lawyer when someone is buying houses or whatever, some legal things. So there is someone that is there. Outside, she's very soft, very nice, but deep inside, she is a strong woman. And that's the friend he is leaving there. So she will be doing some work, but not as much. He feels he didn't finish the whole work, so that's the reason, if it's him, he wrote to that magazine. Because a lot of people are pointing towards him, and I wouldn't be surprised that everyone is expecting him to be that hero. Because it's hero. You know, to say, okay, I'm trying to do my best to protect this, but he feels powerless, so he left. He's leaving, and he wants everyone to know what's going on. And yeah, we have to sit and wait what the next chapter will be tomorrow, because it's every day something. And we are living in interesting times, as Cheryl will say. Be happy. And I'm happy, but we are in Canada, so I can imagine how scary it must be in USA to be. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing with friends and telling them about me, because I'm learning that someone told another person and they found me that way. And thank you for Skype readings with me or telephone readings. Bye-bye. Thank you.